Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show. Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Danny Wallace. How are you feeling?
As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Salt, good morning. Babna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm here in the new IATQB HQ. We had a little practice run last night in the Hive. For those of you that joined me, thank you. I rocked up last night in the IATQB Hive, which is my free group, with a glass of wine and these Moonology Oracle cards, because somebody mentioned that it was the new moon. And I was like, ooh, I have some Moonology Oracle cards. Should we pull? We ended up pulling cards and drinking wine via StreamYard in the IATQB Hive last night. They're the kind of things that we get up to, as well as all of the business stuff and the shout out stuff. But good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Show Up, Rise Up show from the new HQ here at the the castle, or the palace, or whatever it is that you guys have been calling the new house. But yeah, I was saying last night, it feels like such a different energy now that I'm here. It was a bit bittersweet. We were knocking down, like yesterday, the office in the bedroom, the old bedroom yesterday, and Wallace's office for his man cave. And it felt like this is it. It felt like, oh, now we're moving. So even though we've been like in here for a couple of weeks now, and we've been making it beautiful downstairs, now that everything is over here that we need, we're like one step closer to giving the keys back. We're like one step closer to not having that house around our necks anymore, which is just, it's the strangest and most liberating thing, and really effing scary as well, like really super scary. So interesting is definitely a palace. Oh, Michelle. So yeah, here we are. For the next, I would say 12 months, we're going to be here, which is in the bedroom. But I'm putting my arms out like this because it feels just so expansive, because in the old house, I was like really backed up against the wall. It was a very small room anyway. So it was literally, if you remember kind of me pointing behind me, then like directly behind this would just be the bed. Whereas actually the bed's like all the way over there, and the wardrobe's all the way over there. I've got a bathroom in my room. It's all kinds of crazy, really. So Wallace has got all this set up really well. We've got a really cracking internet connection, which is brilliant for all of my clients. So we've got really strong internet connection. So yeah, just really, really happy this morning. How are you guys feeling? We're on the 12th of April. So I want to say huge congratulations and love to all of our non-essential. I say it in inverted commas because we're all essential, and how dare anybody tell us otherwise. But to all of our non-essential workers, you are essential. We love you, but we are so happy that you can open your doors again. We are one step closer. Those of you who've been waiting for the gyms to open so that you can go and engage with the movement of your bodies to keep you healthy, sending love to you. Those of you that want to peruse around Primark, I'm sending love to you. Go and shop up, my loves. Go and enjoy. Those who've been wanting the nails done and the hair done, sending love to you. Those of you that have been able to fling the doors open to your businesses today, sending huge love to you this morning. It does feel like that one step closer. It does feel like that little peep extra around the corner. And with that in mind, go in the gym and then the pub. I love it. We're really lucky here that we've got loads of country pubs like just around the corner. So I think maybe at lunchtime I might wrap up, because it is, even though it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, is going to be far too peoply out there. Amy says, I get it. There's going to be a degree, I think, of apprehension as well as we sort of head on into this new, whatever that looks like for us all. It's so interesting to see how all of our different reactions, and all of them are valid. Just because I'm excited, you might not be. And do you know what? That's equally okay. You're loved and held in this space as well. So it's all valid. Primark is one of Jay's contracts. They've been queuing since 7 a.m. I bet they have. I absolutely bet they have. It's honestly absolutely fascinating. I'm excited. It also means that it's just a week and a half until Be Inspired. And I'm so excited to bring one of our speakers on to the show this morning. Before we have our guest on, please welcome the habit breaker, the absolutely glorious Chrissie Wright, everybody. Good morning.
Morning. Oh, I'm not in shot.
Come on over this way.
Morning. How are you? First in the castle. Oh my God.
You are. Officially. So we did a run on Friday where I did the show from my living room floor. Before I had all of my setup. So we did the show. We had our first guest on Friday, but you are the first guest in situ, in HQ, at the Starship Enterprise desk with the proper camera and everything, which is, it seems like that feels right and proper, because you and me have been on a bit of a journey together, haven't we?
Do you reckon? A bit of a journey. Oh my God. Yes, that is being... Yeah, I have no words. I'm meant to be a speaker. I have no words.
Huge. It has been a huge journey. So I've been blessed enough to work with you now for about 18 months all told. Once we're done working together, we'll have been working together for approximately sort of a year and a half, on and off, in lots of different sort of guises, in lots of different sort of ways. And being a part of your journey from then to now has been an absolute joy to watch, and been an absolute, just a pleasure to be a part of in any way, shape or form. Chrissie, tell us about what it is that you do first.
Okay, so I basically help people. I guide people to break away from unhealthy habits that don't serve them.
Yeah.
My crutch was alcohol. So I was a functioning alcoholic. And then that's really... I had my massive epiphany, and it's like, holy shit, girl, you can't carry on doing this, because otherwise you're going to be in the pit of despair. So that's what I do. I set up Habit Breaker.
Yeah.
And I guide people away from unhealthy habits, be it alcohol, drugs, sex addiction, gaming, gambling, all things like that. So it started off as alcohol, but we've just expanded now, because it's the same reframing method that we use
and it's fascinating with any kind of addictive behavior. I know this is a whole show in itself, and we've only got a few minutes together this morning, but with addiction in itself, you find that it's a lot of the same patterns. It's just, whatever kind of self-medication you're choosing, be that sex or food or drink or drugs or whatever it is, or work. And the phenomenal work that you do, and the business that you're growing and continue to grow within Habit Breaker, is honestly jaw-dropping. You're speaking on the Be Inspired stage, but actually your speaking journey has started already. So normally what happens, people come through the Be Inspired process, and it's kind of a flag in the floor moment where they do the event at the end, and then they get all of their fabulous bits and pieces, and the show reels and the pictures and the speaker sheets and stuff. Because we've been working together so long, and it's been so hit and miss as to when we've been able to do the event. We've had to wait till now to do the event. Actually, your speaking journey has begun already. You've spoken at some phenomenal places in the last 12 months. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I've been really blessed, actually. I've been on quite a few people's podcasts. So there's a lot of podcasts that I've been on.
You did the Burning Woman Festival, right?
Festival, yeah.
Gosh.
So that's this year. So we're doing, I'm not speaking there. I'm actually part of that setup there this year. I started my book, so I'm writing my book. All my courses have started. So my course starts tomorrow for 1 one of the remits that we do. I'm now speaking on Clubhouse. I've got my own little show on Clubhouse. So yeah, I've got it's considering where I was, Danny, when we first started. I couldn't even open my mouth without crying, and it was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I am. It does fill me with absolute gratitude, joy, and love that I've got these amazing people around me that have helped me through my journey. And I think it's important to say that it's self-love and self-healing which has got me through my crutch of alcohol and not drinking. So yeah, it's funny actually because you mentioned about the people going out to drink now the bars are open. One of my stats is 8 million people plan to drink within the first 2 weeks of lockdown opening.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's just like that's the driver, and we look at it from like a social point of view. Like I say, we'll have to get you on again after being inspired, and we'll talk about this in much more depth because it is honestly fascinating. I know some of these stats and some of this information really does form part of your talks as well. Not just what you've learned going through the process yourself, but actually, the studying that you've been doing, the knowledge that you've acquired, and as watching what's been going on during lockdown, watching how people behave around their self-medicating behaviors. It's just been fascinating, and that forms part of your talk that you're doing at Be Inspired. Tell us a little bit of a sneaky bit, because you don't want to be doing the talk now. We want to get you on that bloody TV studio and get you on stage and have you delivering it, as it was designed to be delivered. But give us a little sneak peek on the inside of your talk.
Okay, it's called Alcohol and Angels. So obviously there's quite a spiritual element to it. There's obviously my journey through alcoholism. And then throughout that journey, it's a bit like that, the wiggly boob thing, saggy boobs.
Not everybody knows about saggy boobs unless they're working with me or they've read closed mouths don't get fed.
Okay, well, we've all got saggy boobs. We've all got saggy boobs story in us. So yeah, it's pretty much about Alcohol and Angels. I take you through my journey, and also I give you top tips on how to maybe break out of that unhealthy, or even a better relationship with whatever it is that you have, whatever your crutch is. We will be talking about alcohol, but it's relatable to anything else. So that's pretty much what it is. I think there might be a bottle of wine involved.
I'll be there at the side ready. But I think this is one of the most phenomenal things I think about how this particular Be Inspired has come together over the course of the 2 days is just how varied the topics are, but then because of how varied they are, how whole the event is. So we're looking at these aspects of ourselves. We're looking at our crutches. We're looking at our spirituality. We're looking at our health, our well-being, our style, our confidence, our business acumen, our sales. If we just look, we've just built layer and layer and layer, these phenomenal humans all coming together over the course of these 2 days. And even though it's so varied, actually, it makes for such a whole event. Do you think?
I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait. From being... when we were supposed to do it last September.
Last September, you guys. Day one, cohort 1 was meant to do last September.
I remember feeling then going, I can't swear, shit.
You can swear, you're on my show.
I really don't want to do this. I feel sick. I didn't feel prepared. I knew I was prepared, but it's that whole, I feel sick. I'll probably still feel this way next week. Going, oh my God, I'm going to die on.
Girl, I feel that way now. It's all good. It happens to all of us that are in events.
To go from September then to October, and then to go, right, okay, it's finally freaking happening. It's like, we're thinking about hair, we're thinking about makeup, we're thinking about...
It's very real. It's very, very real now.
At the moment, it's like, okay, what do we wear? What are we wearing? That's kind of where I'm at the minute. I don't want to look fat on camera. I don't want to wear too bright prints. So it's for all ego, really, which is bad.
It's not at all. Like, it's the first time, for me included, that, I will have been around my friends and my peers and my clients, and like in that way, it's like I am a little bit nervous. I'm really excited. It's like do we hug? Do we not hug? Oh, are we vaccinated? We're not. There's like this whole like get here. If anyone is watching this morning, Chrissie, and they are thinking about it, but they're not sure if being inspired is for them, what would you say to them?
Oh Lord. Even if you don't think it is for you, you will always find an element to pull out that they can speak about. We've all got a story in us.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's happy, if it's trauma, if it's, success, if it's failure, we've all got that story. And if you're not ready, and if you don't feel like it's the right time, I'm a person. Life's too short. You just bloody do it. Just do it, because you won't regret it, because you're going to get something at the end of it. It's another income stream. It's the speaking side of things, where you might think, well, I didn't think I'd ever become a speaker. It's another.
What about for people who might not want to speak, but they're on the fence about getting a ticket to be inspired?
Oh my gosh, just bloody do it. There's so much going on. Like we've said, we're covering spirituality, we're covering health, wellness, business, style. There's something there's 22 speakers.
Yeah.
There's something in there for everyone.
Right.
And you don't have to watch it all in one go. You can put it on. It's like, listening to a podcast, right? I'm going to watch this.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You're going to get little snippets and nuggets of gold, regardless of who it is that you're going to be watching.
Right.
And I think the growth aspect for anyone who will be watching, it's a no-brainer to me.
It's funny. It's we're laughing because we know each other, and we know the cohorts, we know day one, day two, we know who's speaking, we know what they're speaking about. We've all been through this process together, and we've all learned from each other in the last 12 to 18 months. So we know what people are getting. So it's really hard for us. We're like, get a ticket, because it's an absolute no-brainer.
What you've got to think of as well, the value of the ticket to what you're actually getting.
Right.
You couldn't buy all those people on stage for that amount of money. Even the new, us as new cohorts, cohort 1 and cohort 2, but the ones that you've got coming anyway, the ones that are experts already in speaking, the value that they're going to bring, it's huge.
It is. So there you have it. We've got the incredible Chrissie Wright, who's going to be speaking on angels and alcohol, and then bringing more of her top tips and hints for you guys. If you are, and I think everybody is. There's rarely somebody that I come across that doesn't have a crutch in one way, shape, or form that might not be working for them. It might just be something that they're using that is kind of easily accessible. For example, drink, for example, food, all of these things. So there is absolutely, totally necessary. It is absolutely necessary to get a ticket, even if it's just to get a little bit of access to what it is that you've got to share, let alone the 22 other phenomenal human beings that we've got talking. Chrissie, have you got your link that you could pop in the comments this morning?
I have. I'll put my Linktree link in.
Perfect.
That's cool.
Amazing.
Darling, I'm so excited, and I know you've got your other guest coming on now.
Yeah, I'm a double bubble. This is my double trouble. We've got Rachel Davis in the back. She's excited. We're going to talk about numerology this morning.
Oh.
Stick around, my darling. Chrissie, I love you. I will see you next week.
Oh my God. Absolutely. Listen, have a fab weekend. Not weekend?
I will when we get there, but let me get this week done first. We've got a lot of tickets to sell before then. Flipping heck, don't wish me week away. We're only on Monday morning.
I know. Right, darling. Big love.
See you later. Huge love. That was the incredible Chrissie Wright from Habit Breaker. That isn't our only guest today. We've got the phenomenal Rachel Davis joining us this morning, talking to us about her journey to numerology. Rachel, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
I am very well, thank you. I have my Be Inspired ticket. I cannot wait.
Yes. Oh, we're going to have such a good time. It's as close as I can get it so that like it feels like we're in the same room together. This is like as
Mhm.
close as I can get it.
It's
So I'm
gonna
so
be
thrilled.
epic.
It is indeed.
Absolutely epic.
It is indeed. We could bang the Be Inspired drum all morning, but Rachel, that's not the reason you're here with us this morning. You are here to talk to us about your journey, specifically around how you came to one of the things that you're doing at the moment, which is numerology. And I'm really blessed and really lucky to A, have you on the show, but B, you are one of our Move, B, Get Out of the Way cohort this time. So
yes.
It's like I get you double bubble today. I get you today and I get you tonight for our session as well, which is just ace. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it is, and it's going really well.
Yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We've got a really, really solid group of awesome humans together. I think to move the time. You are making inroads, and I love it. Okay, Rachel.
Yes.
Tell us about what it is that you do.
So I am passionate about numerology.
Okay.
About helping women discover what their numbers are and what those numbers mean and how they can apply that to their life.
It's interesting because last night, like I was saying, we've got Karen Dawkins from Move B is there. Good morning, Karen, one of our cohort.
Yeah.
Last night we were talking about intentionality, being intentional. If that wasn't a word, I've just made it up and it's a word now. But we were talking about, the phases of the moon and being intention around, it's a new moon right now. That's about, welcoming stuff in, allowing yourself to manifest, and the full moon, it's about getting rid of stuff and releasing and readiness for the new moon, and so on and so on and so on. And some people might be sat out there this morning thinking, what a load of twaddle. They might be thinking, that's absolute nuts. It's nuts what you're talking about right there. The interesting thing, I mean, again, particularly with numerology, is that we was talking about this just before the show, is that numbers is the purest form of science, and there's lots of synchronicities and there's lots of ways that numbers show up. So it would make sense then that numbers, we can draw meaning and intention from numbers as well, right?
Absolutely. And they've been here since the beginning of time, since God or whoever created the universe.
Yeah.
And its numbers are seen even in nature, with things like the Fibonacci sequence.
What's the Fibonacci sequence?
The Fibonacci sequence, so it's like the two, so it starts off with 1 and then 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 and 3 is 5. So the two numbers, and that's, when you follow the Fibonacci sequence, you get
goes like this.
Spiral. You get the spiral, and you see things like the sacred geometry, etc. In nature as well,
like the golden triangle shows up in nature, it shows up in architecture, it shows up in art, it's all of these things. It's all down to math, essentially. It's all down to numbers in the way that
it's the universal language of the universe is maths.
It's crazy, considering that your girl's dyscalculate over here, and it's no fun. I was not the mathematical sort growing up. However, you did me a reading.
Yes, I did.
You did me a reading, and I found it absolutely fascinating. Now, again, for those of you that are cynics out there, when we have these sorts of readings done, you can go one or two ways. One is you can say, actually, that's right, that's me, and it's because of these things. Or it could allow you to reflect and see if you see yourselves in those things, and you can set intentions accordingly. So whether you're a cynic or whether you are all in, I'm here for the woo and the do, which is where I'm at. It allows you to reflect upon where you're at, how you react to stuff, and all of that. JoJo's had her numbers done with you, and it was awesome.
Yes.
So talk to us about how that works. What does doing your numbers mean?
So basically, you have your own number chart, and you take the numbers from your birth date, and you then reduce them down to a single figure, unless of course the numbers add up to 11, 22 or 33, which are the master numbers within numerology. And the same with your birth name. So you take your birth name, and each number, we use something called the Pythagorean alphabet. So certain letters have numbers associated with them.
Right.
So you take your full birth name, put the numbers associated with each letter, add them all up and reduce them down to a single figure. And again, if it adds up to 11, 22 or 33, then you stay at that number, and they're still classed as the master numbers. And your full birth name gives you your destiny number. And then for your soul number, which is kind of the fire in your belly, that what drives you, you take the vowels from your birth name, and again, take the numbers for the vowels, add them up and reduce to a single figure. And for your personality number, which is how other people will see you, you take the consonants out of your birth name and add the numbers up associated with all the consonants.
Right.
And reduce to a single figure.
So you do these things, you do these, these sort of essentially these mathematical equations that bring you down essentially to these one numbers or these three sort of master numbers.
Yeah.
What do they then mean?
So they then mean, so each number has a vibration associated with it. So you have the numbers 1 through 9. So for 1, it is the independent. 2 has the essence of the peacemaker. 3 has the energy and vibration of being the creative, the expressionist. You find a lot of actors or artists or poets can be number 3. 4 is the dedicated worker. 5 is the free one. 6 is the caregiver or the nurturer. You find people like nurses and doctors are number 6, or social workers, etc. 7 is the seeker. 8 is the manifester. 9,
I smile because I'm an 8.
Yeah. And 9 is the humanitarian.
Right.
11 is the mystic. 22 is the master builder. And 33 is the master nurturer. So like very Mother Earth, but the 33 is quite a rare number to get.
Right. And for people that are in the know that way, because like you say, I guess if we're gonna kind of look at the how does this actually work, because we're given our names by our parents, so it's not like it's not something that we have much control over, and some of this is set by your birth date as well. Is that right? So you use the numbers from your name and the numbers from your birth date. Some people that are into numerology, and this is often found within Chinese cultures as well, is where they will look at names that are auspicious names to give their children based on what their numerology chart would be. So the date on which they're born, they'll consult an almanac. They'll be, they will look at the names that are auspicious that sit alongside the dates of birth and stuff. This isn't new. This is ancient. This sort of numerology and this concept around that. I would find it fascinating to see where this
is ancient. It is ancient. Like I say, the numbers have been here since the beginning of time. And the numbers, in many ways, don't lie.
Yeah,
they don't lie in some ways.
It's funny that you talk about vibrations, and this is the science me. So lots of you that watch know that I love the science and I love the woo and I love the practicality. I love all of it. I love it all. There's no space for doubt for anything for me, because I figure that there are things that are bigger than ourselves that are out there, and who are we? Like, I just like to explore them. I like to understand them better. But if we're saying that numbers vibrate, so in a similar way, if we think about music and beats per minute, right?
Yeah.
Beats per minute, they work on different frequencies. Sound works in different frequencies, and certain, lower numbers will make you feel a certain kind of way. Higher frequencies will make you feel a certain kind of way. So the theory behind this is that the numbers have different frequencies in the same way that sound has different frequencies, brain waves or have different frequencies. And it's a tough one to get your head around if you don't think about life in frequencies, you don't think about things. But when you start to look at it like that, in energies and in frequencies, that actually you think, oh, I get this. You can see why then you would try and choose a name that is auspicious for your
and even when you look into the mathematics behind music, some of the numbers, like the Fibonacci sequence, comes into like the perfect fifth chord, etc. So
and that makes you feel a certain kind of way. That makes you like minor and major chords, these perfect chords. These, if you sit alongside this Fibonacci sequence, that we see, all these different sequences that we see, you start to fit music into it. It makes you feel a certain kind of way. Music is mathematical, however it is that we look at it. If you look at what we call in the music world the dots, the sheet music, and we look at actually written music, that's maths. They're just numbers on a sliding scale. Again, absolutely fascinating. So what drew you to that? Because you've not always been a practitioner.
No, and I'm still training. I'm still on my journey of delving deeply into it. But I think growing up, I have always kind of been into that sort of spiritual side of things. But it's only within the last, I'd say, sort of 6 months that I've really come to numerology and really tried to apply it to my own life and think, actually, I need to live according to these numbers, or more according to these numbers, because actually I'd then be living how I should be living.
Right. And then the assumption is that you would find that you would fall into more of your joy space, more abundance, all of these things, because you're actually sitting within what is vibrationally perfect for you. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And again, some of you will be sat there at home going, it's a lot of bollocks. Some of you may be sat at home going, what? Tell me more about it. And the whole point of this show is that we bring all of these things to the table for you to explore and see what works for you. For some of you, it might not. For some of you, it might. For me, I am absolutely here for all of it. There is a reason why I've got my little Citrine money tree. There's a reason why when I looked at you doing my numbers, you went, oh, Danny, I'll do your chart for you. I was like, okay.
And I mean, even though you have your number chart, you can even take the numbers. So each year, so for instance, this year is a universal year 5, which is all about change and adaptability.
Yeah, which makes sense right now.
Yes. But also you can have a personal year. So your personal year for last year was a 9, which is all about endings, about letting go and stepping out of the cocoon of old into your new life.
Whatever this is.
And then this year, you're in a personal year 1, which is all about new beginnings, planting seeds. Whatever you plant now, you'll reap the rewards later on.
It's very exciting. Very exciting time. So if somebody is curious about numerology, where do you go to learn these things? Because I know you're training at the moment, you're moving through your training, and I think just it's fascinating, as a member of the community, coming in and sharing this passion and this love of what it is that you're doing. Where do people go to learn about these things?
I mean, there are courses out there, but I'm actually training with she's got her own course. She's a numerologist herself, so she's a qualified practitioner. And and I'm a member of her group, and I'm learning loads off her. She's got a group on Facebook as well. She's called Denise, and she's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
But yes, there are other courses out there online which you can go to if you want to. But I would highly suggest go and find somebody who's been doing it and be a student.
Yeah, and I think that
tutor.
I think that's probably the best thing to say for anybody who's moving into this field. You know, if we look at, you know, other Be Inspired speakers, Tina Pavlou, for example, Nikki Sprosen, for example, they are, you know, master teachers within their field. It is best if you are entering into this. It's the same with anything that is new, that is spiritual. In order to make sure that you stay safe within it, going to somebody who is qualified, going to somebody who's been practicing for a long time, going to see one of these spiritual masters is the most important thing that you can do, because otherwise you're not getting the whole information. If you look at Reiki, for example, you've got to have got so much experience from a Reiki master in order for you to be able to practice. And so if anybody is interested, please do seek out somebody who's been practicing for a long time, who is a teacher in their field. Then they can teach you accordingly and make sure that you stay safe as well. Because the thing is that, I mean, the danger of this is, and we have to talk about this, because people can be quite impressionable. So when you're doing your training with somebody who is a professional, who, you know, you're learning from somebody who knows, and you're doing it in that kind of structured way. If you just kind of come across these things and start throwing these out, you could happen across somebody that's vulnerable. So what I'm saying is, for anybody out there that is, you know, wanting to learn more about spirituality, that's wanting to learn more about numerology or tuning forks or Reiki or all these things, learn from masters and be qualified, so that you can make sure that you are protected, and that your clients and the prospective people that you want to help and heal are protected as well. Right, Rach?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
It's important. It's important. Fangirl crushes on both Tina and Nikki, but it's a secret. You are terrible, Chrissy, for sharing secret, not secrets. You're on Facebook. So what's your intention? You're doing this training and you're doing these readings, and they are the most wonderful, you know, readings, and they're so resonant, and you know, it was beautiful. And thank you so much for mine. What is your intention with this, or is this something that you're exploring now? Like, where you can take it? It is
what I am exploring where I can take it. And obviously at the moment, as you know, I'm working with Nikki James on developing, trying to develop this into a brand, and with the intention of helping women. And women who have maybe come out of employment, etc., who just want some guidance and to see what the numbers hold for them, and what those numbers mean, and where they could take those numbers can take them.
Amazing. So how do we follow your journey? Because it's one of the most beautiful things is that, you know, lots of people, in fact, most people here have been following my journey, and, you know, we're so many years in now, and it'd be lovely if you've got people that are following what it is that you do now, to see where it is that you go when you take this.
Yeah, well, at the moment I have got a group on Facebook. It is called the Boho Girl. So go and follow the Boho Girl, and there will be more content put in there over the coming months, all about numerology, etc. So go and follow there.
Amazing. Well, make sure you pop the links in. Anyone's interested in following Rachel on her journey, you can do. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Right. It's been amazing, and I'll see you tonight.
You will see me tonight on Move B, which I'm so excited about, because we are getting stuff done in that group. Please do go and follow Rachel and follow her journey as she expands into this incredible and spiritual world. Rachel, thank you for joining us this morning.
It's been awesome. Thank you. Bye.
That was Rachel Davis, everybody. Here we are. Here in IATQB HQ. Oh my God, it is exciting. It feels good. I was worried I was nervous last night, right? Weird. Like, we've been doing this show now for a year. Like, I don't know when it's our birthday. It's our birthday, like, very, very soon. But yeah, we've been doing this show for a whole year. If it's not, it's probably been our birthday, in fairness. We should have had a party, but still, every day's a party in here. But last night, when I was practicing in the hive, I was setting up, making sure everything was working. I felt really nervous about doing the show. I felt really nervous about being set up here and working here. But actually, you guys, it feels good. It feels ace. I'm very, very excited. I feel like this is the kind of space we're going to get shit done. It feels expansive, which is exactly where we are at right now. Peeping around the corner of lockdown, peeping around the corner of Be Inspired, peeping around the corner of building up our hope again, building up our excitement again, building up our optimism again. And I've absolutely got you for all of it. Right, my loves, make sure you've got a Be Inspired ticket. I am not ashamed of banging the drum. I am unapologetic because I know it's going to help so many of you, especially right now as we are entering into this new phase of optimism, of excitement, of hope as we build our lives and our businesses back up after what has been the most strange 12 months. Hugest love to you, my darlings. I will see you tomorrow for more Showing Up, Wising Up and Rising Up. If I do come and hang out in your DMs and tell you about Be Inspired or ask you to buy a ticket, it's because I love you. It's because I know that you are going to get so much value from it, and I wouldn't hide it from any of you. I want to share it with as many of you as possible. You guys are my friends and my loves, and I want to help as many of you as possible. Be Inspired is definitely going to be a gateway into that. I love you. See you tomorrow at 9:30 for more Showing Up, Wising Up and Rising Up. Take care.